Francesca Fiorentini of the Bituation Room podcast made about Ana Kasparian. Ana came out recently saying that she regrets her. Instead of me summarizing it slightly less accurately, we'll just listen to Ana explain how she feels now that she's gotten to see the fascism that is broiling throughout society, in contrast to how Ana communicated about whether this was a threat before the election. A lot of people are paying close attention to this. Francesca's one of them, and she made a video, which we're going to look at after we watch this.
By the way, guys, I was so wrong. I knew Trump was going to be bad. I didn't like, just because, when I hear the word fascist, I think of, fascism is a specific ideology. So when Cenk and I got into that debate about whether or not Trump is fascist leading up to the election, there wasn't evidence to suggest that he has or believes in a fascist ideology. But what's being carried out right now on the streets of Minnesota, watching these videos of pregnant women, like there's a video, we're gonna get to it later in the show today. Pregnant woman gets dragged out of her car. She wasn't even part of any of the anti-ICE demonstrations. She was just trying to get by. She was driving to an appointment or something. I've seen now multiple videos of innocent people who are they're not obstructing, they're not getting involved. They're doing nothing other than standing kind of like away off to the side and filming ICE as they're, raining terror on people. And the ICE agents walk up to them and literally knock them to the ground. American citizens. Oh. I'm sorry. I feel guilt every single day that I didn't see this coming. I'm such an idiot.
Feels guilt. Anyway,
let's get back to the show.
There you go. Yeah, she feels guilt. That's my site there, by the way, Torchlighter, youtube.com/@torchlighterfilms. I want to make small little documentaries there, and I might end up posting the full version of the TYT or documentary on Torchlighter. I just don't think it really fits great on winners and losers, even though obviously it's a lot more established. It's so much work, man. All of it. No evidence. No, it's American citizens. Hey, it's everybody, all humans they're torturing and terrorizing, especially people who aren't American citizens, but they don't care. It's this white supremacist outburst. This country's true character is all wrapped up in its violence and and these complete losers that are doing. I can't even. Okay. I just hope there's justice someday. She's referring to this debate here she got into with Cenk. Since we're doing it, might as well play it. Let's go.
Notion of a fascist.
Just for dates, by the way, this is October, at least this was posted October 30th, 2024. And here, the apology we just watched was recent, 2026 here in January. So, what is that, 15 months? Something?
Because look, if we're just gonna use fascist toward anyone we dislike, all right, then the word doesn't actually mean anything.
Okay, what do you want me to say, Anna? You want me to say wannabe dictator?
Sure, you can say wannabe dictator, but I don't even think he wants to be a dictator.
Of course he does. That's what you do when you lose an election and you go, oh, I got fake electors and I'd like to terminate the Constitution and bring out the tanks and use martial law against American citizens and shoot protesters. I mean, if that's not fascist, then I guess the word just shouldn't exist.
But was he able to do those things?
Trump's
his rhetoric is awful.
Okay, if you don't want to be called fascist, stop saying fascist things. It's not that hard.
Okay.
Not that hard. Oh.
You got to say it with an Italian accent. I'd like to go to make America great again. Like, I understand there's a difference, and there's this historian Daniel Bessner, and I had him on her show Unaligned to talk about this in an agreement kind of way. I haven't had the willpower to watch it yet. I've been so busy. If I even care to, I probably will eventually. But I think their concept is that this fascism is like a specific set of beliefs and stuff that don't apply to here, and that because Daniel Bessner has two articles, one is in Jacobin and one is in the New Republic, where he makes his case, and I hope I'm summarizing somewhat accurately, but is that basically that America has its own brand of terror. It's very racialized and it's rooted in our culture and it goes far back, and that's not the same as fascism. And it's just sort of a pedantic. It's like, it's not precise enough, therefore this can't be that. But she's clearly was making excuses And then the giveaway is to say there's no evidence. There was no evidence at the time. So in 2024, she saw no indications that something of a fascistic nature was headed for us. That maybe, I don't know, maybe them demonizing anti-fascists constantly. Was that a giveaway? Like, okay. So Francesca wanted to make a point about it. And Francesca is a damn pro stand-up comedian, professional news presenter, political commentator, podcast host. Seems like a great spouse and even an even better offspring producer. I didn't want to call her mom. Maybe she doesn't like that word. Do you ever think about that? I doubt it. I'm sure it's mom. But it would be weird if I said, okay, fuck, I always trap myself. But Francesca, if you're not familiar, has been in the trenches battling with the Young Turks about their right-wing pivot. And she interviewed Cenk in late December 2024. As of course, you've seen the part where she brings me up in Cenk's project and he cackles with hatred. She was fired shortly, about 3 months later. I had something to do with that, which we'll talk about someday, publicly, not like anything I'm revealing or whatever, but I know, yeah, that'll be funny. I posted the videos where she says Cenk looks like a bitch because he was looking like a bitch, and that seemed like it had to get out. So I played a role. But anyway, so but I'm really appreciative that Francesca hasn't just said, all right, I'll move on. I'm not gonna glove. What word am I looking for? Like, I'll move on. See, I suck at this. But she could have chosen to like try to leave the TYT drama in the past. Maybe occasionally talk about it tangentially, or maybe it'd probably get brought up a lot because it was a fairly dramatic way that she was ousted. That's a funny way to put it. But she's not holding back with her attention on this. I mean, I imagine she probably is actually, but we all have to for our own sanity. But she couldn't help herself here, I guess, and she wanted to address Anna's apology. I think apology is a bit of a strong word, even though she says I'm sorry. But this was like a super chat, and she said, "By the way," and then talked for 70 seconds. So, like, let's see some actual contrition and let's see some behavior. That's how I would be able to read an apology. But so here, let's just start it.
By the way, guys, I was so wrong. I'm sorry. I feel guilt every single day that I didn't see this coming.
Political commentator Ana Kasparian of the progressive network The Young Turks, who famously a few years ago declared herself politically unaligned and spent the run-up to the 2024 election and most of 2025 gracing right-wing shows, not to challenge but to find common ground with them, the ground right over the bodies of trans people.
Is it bad that I don't want to see a dick in the women's locker room? Is that bad?
No.
Ana is now having a bit of a come to Jesus
Whenever I'm in the men's locker room, I see a dick because I'm a big asshole. Get it? Okay.
moment and apologizing for not seeing all of the fascism coming and not rightfully calling Trump a fascist.
By the way, guys, I was so wrong. I knew Trump was going to be bad. I didn't like, just because, when I hear the word fascist, I think of, fascism is a specific ideology. So when Cenk and I got into that debate about whether or not Trump is fascist leading up to the election,
Notion of a fascist. Because look, if we're just gonna use fascist toward anyone we dislike, all right, then the word doesn't actually mean anything.
Okay.
But was he able to do those things?
there wasn't evidence to suggest.
That he has or believes in a fascist ideology. I've seen now multiple videos of innocent people who are not obstructing, they're not getting involved, they're doing nothing other than standing kind of like away off to the side and filming ICE as they're, raining terror on people. And ICE agents walk up to them and literally knock them to the ground. American citizens. I'm sorry, I feel guilty.
Day that I didn't see this coming. I'm such an idiot.
Ergo, he is a fascist. Sorry, you forgot to finish your thought there, but otherwise, beautifully said, especially that last part.
I'm such an idiot.
Now, credit where
Good editing. Ooh, baby. Francesca, got a great one. Your editor's solid. I'm jealous. Honestly, it's very beautiful, like video, by the way. If you aspire to make these sorts of content like this, she hits it. Obviously, the topic here is going to draw eyeballs, but she just keeps hammering away at it. There's a lot of hooks in the belly of this bluegill. Let's just put it that way to make it weird. So she talks about the lack of how Anna seems to, the way she was defending and making excuses and pretending like the things everybody else was seeing weren't really happening, especially the idea of trusting Donald Trump as a source for Donald Trump. I didn't know about fascism. Like Project 20, I never heard of it. Like a professional news person in this business for 20 years, and they think that there's a good faith reasons to believe anything that comes out of that guy's mouth. I don't think she's an idiot. I don't think idiocy explains what's actually going on.
Policy that Trump does agree with and he campaigns heavily on, but associating it with the Trump campaign because some former Trump administration officials are now part of the Heritage Foundation, I think is a little bit unfair. Well, there's a lot that he doesn't agree with that's in that document and said that he won't actually pursue. And are we going to pretend like Trump read a 900-page document?
Yeah, that was a real excuse that Trump can't read. Well, guess what? Neither can the ICE Gestapo, but that's not... But was that okay with her so long as they were doing it to undocumented people? Because did anyone else notice that part of the apology?
And the ICE agents walk up to them and literally knock them to the ground. American citizens. American citizens.
Yeah. Project 2025 also spends a Kasparian amount of time on trans people.
Okay, let's get to the end here. She makes a point about Anna being a news person. This is kind of what I wanted you to hear.
Textbook fascism. This person has been doing the news for nearly 2 decades. They should have known better. And look, I get it. The brain gets cooked. Or maybe it's getting lazy and sees what it wants to see to go on the shows that it wants to go on. But she did a massive disservice to her audience. And she threw leftists and progressives under the bus for it. And it's only a matter of time before she'll do it again. Which, by the way, Anna, did you ever catch that undocumented person who started the LA wildfires? No? Better luck next time. Hey, if you want more drama and
better luck next time, Anna.
2 videos.
She mentions this right here down in the corner here. What are you doing on screen? Their interview with Cenk here. That's the one where she brings my name up. So go check that out. So great job, Francesca. We're all happy to see that. Big numbers on that video too. 420,000 in 4 days. My God, it's like it's got to be way more than all the views I've ever gotten in my entire YouTube horrible, wretched fucking career. Okay, so. Good stuff. Just wanted to share a bit of that. I was searching real hard through here for a video I posted about Anna and Glenn Beck, where she told, because it was a little shot of her on the Glenn Beck program, where she tells him how much she loves unions. She, of course, she said it's like her #1 thing, even though she didn't tell Glenn Beck that she helped her boss bust a union at the Young Turks, attempt to bust a union, and spread like provably false lies about her own coworkers. Didn't bring that part up. Very much hopeful and interested and welcoming. And, if there's ever an opportunity to do some hatchet burying, I've probably upset the royal court at the Young Turks too much to ever get to this point. But if Anna comes forward and says, I actually looked at the details. I went to the sources section on the tellthetruthjank.com website, because these are all non-Hank sources, except for the bottom one, which is my Substack, that has all sorts of good, juicy tea and documents from internally at the Young Turks you can go look at about my employment conditions, because I'm making some pretty stark claims. I'm telling the world that Cenk Uygur was calling me a part-time employee while I was working full-time, because you got to be a real low life to do that to somebody. And I have all the evidence that shows that that's exactly what it was. There's multiple documents, and anyway, so you can check all that out. But if Anna actually looked into it and did some journalism, she might be forced to conclude that the story that they put out was untrue. And as all good journalist professors do and should do, she should retract and apologize. And maybe there's a way for her to do that doesn't involve me. Okay, I'm an asshole. I've pushed things this far, and it's not going to, wouldn't want to dignify me or my project with your presence or that. But do it because it's the right thing to do. Do it because your credibility matters. Do it because Cenk Uygur lied to you, and your trust and loyalty to him is now featured center stage in a documentary about misinformation and union busting. You don't have to do it because of me. You could do it because you want people to think you're a good person. All right. Okay. I found the Anna Glenn Beck thing I made. It is 20 seconds here. We're going to watch it. Let me turn off the Shrimp Squad, get them out of the way here. This is on my Twitter somewhere. I just couldn't find it, but it's on my hard drive, so I loaded it up here in the browser.
Incredibly important.
And reset. Here we go.
Unionized labor, I think, is incredibly important, which, it's something that's been decimated in recent decades in this country. But that's like my number one interest in politics.
Yep. Bump, bump. That's from an Nomiki Const interview. You can look up her channel, Nomiki Const, Ana Kasparian, air quotes the phrase union busting. And she actually talks quite a bit about the whole situation with the union coming forward. And she basically paints herself as a victim and how people who judged Cenk for it were doing virtue signaling. It was a real weird interpretation. And so this is in the film. We haven't gotten to the portion of where we break this down a little more. There's only a screenshot so far of this, but pretty remarkable, for someone to have to be telling Glenn fucking Beck, of all people, that she's all about unions because she's olive branching. This is, what's the dates around here? Shoot, it's not, I'll see the date. Boy, whoever made this video did a terrible job. You're supposed to put the date on there for people that are trying to get the accurate information out. But yeah, so Glenn Beck wants to, and then of course a lot of right wingers, and there's plenty of conservatives who are in unions. Blue collar types. They're not all. We assume all blue collar people are conservative. That's not true whatsoever. But there's a lot of conservatives in unions around the country, and their ideology and their news diet doesn't necessarily exclude the unions, but they'll certainly vote for politicians who do a lot of damage to unions, and especially the Trumps, man. It's just brutal. But, Glenn Beck will make some conceits to it, and it's pathetic. But this will certainly be in the movie at some point.
It's something that's been decimated in recent decades.
Union decimator doesn't like all the decimation that's gone on. And that's also people understand, and it's not management. She has a powerful position at the Young Turks, but she's still, I guess, an employee. She has a private union, an agent who negotiates on her behalf. So she's not necessarily in need of one. And it would be amazing if when she does finally shake the fog off and come just to her senses, like I said, if she reaches out, we'll make a secret documentary about unionizing TYT led by Ana Kasparian. Wouldn't that be an amazing comeback film? John Idarola, Ana Kasparian, J.R. Jackson lead a rebellion at the Young Turks to finish the job, to complete the unionization, because the Young Turks Union is only about 20% of the company. That would probably save the company, but Cenk is too lost in his hubris to have the wisdom to realize he should do everything I say. No, he should do what the film is titled, though, for sure. Tell the truth, Cenk. Do it, buddy. Okay, guys.
Sorry, we lost.
I'm here.